What I eat in a day to reduce inflammation. If you're new here, hey, I'm Healthy Emmie. I'm a nutritionist, a weight loss specialist, and the creator of Slim, the all-inclusive platform for mastering your health on a plant-based diet, tackling both nutrition and exercise, and also mindfulness with meditations and journaling topics. Click the link in the down bar to learn more about that. Hey, I've got to let you know that I am running a completely free webinar, the 5 Steps to Thriving on a Plant-Based Diet. You can sign up using the link here. I'll see you there. So I asked what I eat in a day themes you wanted for my upcoming videos, and one of the overwhelming responses was what I eat in a day to reduce inflammation. I personally am not struggling with inflammation at the moment, probably because I do eat this way, but for those that are, I'm going to be supplying you not only with recipes, but also the reasoning behind why this inflammation is occurring and how we can combat it. So what is inflammation? Inflammation is a natural response from the immune system to help protect our body. When we get a cut, it'll get warm, it'll get inflamed, it'll get a little bit red, and that's because the body is trying to prevent that cut from becoming infected, to prevent it from irritants, to prevent it from further damage. So inflammation is a beneficial thing, and it's a survival mechanism. It's something that the body does to protect us. However, for many people, they are chronically inflamed due to stress, due to not eating correctly, due to not exercising enough, and then that manifests through skin conditions, eczema, rashes, joint pain, poor digestion, heart disease, diabetes. So a little bit of inflammation, good thing. Too much inflammation and chronic inflammation, not so good. So how are we going to eat, and how does eating even tie in to the inflammation game? Diet plays a crucial role in either making our inflammation worse or making our inflammation better. You're not gonna stay in the middle of the road. The way that you eat is gonna put you on one path or another, either making your inflammation worse and worse and worse and worse, or improving it and settling down the inflammation. Animal products, foods that are super refined, high in sugar, processed foods, high in saturated fats, all of those are going to make your inflammation through the roof. The foods that we're eating today, raw, real, whole food, starches, vegetables, fruits, legumes, these are anti-inflammatory foods, and I'm going to talk you through exactly why and how. Starting out the day with a breakfast burrito. To be honest, it's an anytime burrito. You could have this whenever, but it's a great first meal of the day too if you want to have something other than oatmeal, which has honestly been my go-to lately. So starting out with the wrap that I'm using a wrap from Atoria's. I love these wraps. They're the only ones that you're gonna find that don't have the added oils and there's hydrogenated oils. These in Ezekiel are great too, but I do love the lavash from Atoria's. You can buy these online or you can get them at Whole Foods. And like I said, they're not gonna be the high fat, hydrogenated, oily wraps that you're gonna find everywhere else. I'm adding lettuce for some crunch, and I actually had 2 of these, and I ran out of the green that I wanted to highlight in today's video for this one, but you will see it when I show you the end game of the wrap here. I used kale in the other wrap because kale has such powerful anti-inflammatory properties. Kale contains a certain type of antioxidants that act sort of like a shield to your cells. Think of it like kale has the antioxidants that are holding up a shield to protect them from damage. And that excessive damage is going to cause inflammation. So kale has vitamins A, C, K, and those powerful antioxidants to help prevent further damage to the cells. Next up, steamed red onions. I took these red onions, chopped them up, threw them into my vegetable steamer and steamed them until they were translucent-ish. You know, I could tell that they had been cooked. But red onions contain quercetin, and quercetin is kind of like the bouncer. It is what keeps the bad guys out of your cells. It's been shown to reduce inflammation, has incredible anti-inflammatory properties, and is going to, just like the kale antioxidants, keep your cells nice and safe. So kale has the shield, the quercetin, which is also within kale, but also in the red onions, is gonna be like the bouncer in the party, not letting the bad stuff in. I steamed up the red onions, but I also steamed up some bell peppers. Bell peppers contain capsaicin, and capsaicin has been shown to reduce pain and inflammation. And this isn't just going to be related to pain in the joints, which is often, unfortunately, one of the side effects of inflammation, arthritis, etc. But also, if you're experiencing bloating and digestive distress, that's inflammation, that's pain. And so if we can eat something that helps reduce that, not only are we going to experience the reduced inflammation from a joint perspective, but also from a gastrointestinal perspective, and having better bowel movements, better digestion, helping calm down the stomach from your peppers. Next up, I'm adding salsa. You can get pretty much any salsa from the store. Across the board, salsas are usually pretty good. They do sometimes have added sugar, so just check the ingredients and make sure that there isn't any sugar that's added. But what I love about salsa is that there is lycopene in the ingredients of salsa. And lycopene I think of as like the sunscreen for your cells. It protects the barriers of the cells, just like sunscreen protects the skin, lycopene protects the cells. So again, preventing that chronic inflammation from flourishing by keeping your cells nice and strong and like a barrier to all of the outside stresses that could cause further inflammation. Then I'm adding in mushrooms. You can use any types of mushrooms here, but specifically shiitake mushrooms are shown to be very anti-inflammatory. Again, any mushrooms that you'd like to use here. I'm using king oyster and oyster mushrooms that I got from the Asian market. I just sprayed some liquid aminos on these and I baked them in the oven at 400 for about 20 minutes and added those in. But they are very anti-inflammatory, and mushrooms have been shown to improve immune function. And then I am adding in guacamole. Guacamole has monounsaturated fats. Remember, saturated fats, these are the animal product fats, the cheese, the butter, the solid fat. That is what is going to cause inflammation, but the unsaturated fats in things like avocados and guacamole and nuts and seeds, these are going to help with reducing inflammation because these are the good ones. We have to have some sort of fat. We either have the fat on our bodies that our body uses, or we get fat from what we eat. And if you are in weight maintenance, it is essential to make sure that you are eating a source of healthy fats. Guacamole is an example of this. Next up, we are featuring a bowl from the Healthy Bowls cookbook. One of my favorite cookbooks. I have a bowl pretty much every day. So starting out with quinoa. Quinoa is high in fiber, which is going to help with promoting a healthy gut microbiome. The gut is the backbone of our immune system, which a lot of people don't recognize. The gut is the backbone of the immune system, and the immune system is the backbone of our inflammation response. Remember, inflammation comes from the immune system. It's something the system shoots out. So if our immune system is all out of whack because our gut is all out of whack, then we're going to experience inflammation. And if we experience inflammation, it's a negative feedback loop that will cause further digestive distress. It's a wreck. So quinoa is a great base to have here. It's also high in protein. It has all 9 essential amino acids, which means it is a complete protein. Quick break to talk about homocysteine. Homocysteine will trigger inflammation and oxidative stress within the body. So how do we keep homocysteine levels low, you ask? Let me tell you. Vitamin B12 is exactly what does that. Unfortunately, most people, about 50 people it is estimated within the States, have low or deficient levels of vitamin B12. If you're on a plant-based diet, you have to supplement vitamin B12 because you're not getting it from your food. So please make sure that you're using a high quality vitamin B12. Unfortunately, most of the ones that you're gonna find in the stores are disgusting. They have added fillers, unnecessary fillers, sugar, oil, things that are going to inflame you. You know, what's going on here? This is supposed to help me, and I'm taking things that are going to hurt me. So I got you covered. I got a vitamin B12 that is clean. No oils, no GMOs, no gross stuff, no unnecessary fillers. One active ingredient, just B12, no gunk. Highest quality you're going to find, premium ingredients linked in the down bar. Keep those homocysteine levels low by making sure you're taking this. Cucumbers. We've heard the term cool as a cucumber, but there is actually some science here because it does help cool down the body and reduce that inflammation. Sort of like when you put an ice pack on something that's swollen to help cool it down, the same is going to happen internally with those cucumbers. Mangoes. Mangoes contain mangiferin. Yes, just like cinnamon contains cinnamaldehyde. It's really cool how these are linked with, you know, what the name of the antioxidants are and what the name of the fruit is. So mangoes contain mangiferin, which is a phytochemical that has anti-inflammatory effects. I just bought frozen mango from Whole Foods and I let it thaw and then added it into the bowl. So this way you don't have to try to find ripe mango in the fall and the winter, which probably isn't gonna happen. Then this avocado is actually frozen avocado. I wanted to try it out and see how it went, because you know, with avocado, you buy it and it's rotten the next day. You have like a 10-minute period where you can get it in, and I didn't want to deal with that. So I purchased this, took one for the team, and I have to say, it does the trick. Would I use it on something like avocado toast? Maybe, maybe not, but for something like a bowl where it kind of gets lost, or if you're making a dressing with an avocado base, this is a really good option, and it's a lot cheaper than buying avocados too, which is pretty cool. Then adding in tofu. This tofu was sprayed with liquid aminos, baked at 400 to 425 for 20 to 25 minutes, and tofu contains isoflavones, which have been shown to reduce inflammation. Adding in kale that we talked about earlier, I just threw this into the microwave steamer and steamed it for 2 minutes. Then adding in some edamame. This was frozen edamame that I threw in the microwave for 30 seconds to help just defrost it, because it's already cooked when it's frozen. And this is actually the baby of tofu. So we're all coming from the same place here. Tofu and edamame are both soybeans. The edamame is the immature baby soybean, and the tofu is the processed soybean. So the soybean turns into soy milk and then it turns into tofu. But both of these contain isoflavones, which once again are shown to have anti-inflammatory effects. Then for the sauce here, I have just mixed some peanut butter with soy sauce. I think I just mixed the two of those, or liquid aminos rather. A little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of liquid aminos, and peanuts contain resveratrol, and you may have heard that wine contains resveratrol. It's because grapes contain resveratrol. This is anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, so why not add that little benefit? Then for dinner, I'm doing a little bit of a leftovers bowl. Whatever's in the fridge, let's throw it together. Let's make it delicious. Then throwing in some winter squash. So this squash, this was carnival squash. I chopped it up, put it in the oven on Silpat, 425, again, for about 25 minutes until it had cooked through. And this is great. It contains vitamins A and C, which are both powerful antioxidants that will help with reducing oxidative stress, specifically great for our skin health, reducing skin inflammation. So those foods that are high in vitamins A and C, those orange foods, specifically the squash, specifically oranges themselves, carrots, sweet potatoes, are great anti-inflammatory options for the skin. Brussels sprouts contain a compound that is going to help support healthy liver function, helping you detox and reduce inflammation. For these guys, I just threw them on the Silpat along with the squash and let them bake. And they do get a little bit burnt when you do that. Sometimes it's easier just to throw it in the steamer, but I just kept it all in the pan. Added in some more mushrooms, and then I added in a honey mustard sauce from the Healthy Dressings and Sauces cookbook. The Healthy Dressing and Sauces cookbook is completely oil-free. We don't want to be adding oil, especially if we're dealing with inflammation, specifically because those oils are usually high in omega-6s. That'll throw off the balance between your omega-3s and your omega-6s, which we know causes inflammation. It's something that you hear about very often, is to make sure that you're getting in your omega-3s. You'll hear that all the time, get in your omega-3s, and it's because most people are consuming so many omega-6s that there is an imbalance between the two of them. So stay away from those oils. You are going to make sure that you get in your omega-3s. You're going to want to do so through the whole real plant foods like flax, nuts, avocado. The whole plant food contains the omega-3s. If you made it to this point of the video, comment cool as a cucumber, because we're reducing that inflammation by eating cucumbers. I can't wait to see you in the free webinar, 5 Steps to Thriving on a Plant-Based Diet. Make sure that you're signed up for it. I will see you in there. I love you, honeys. If you liked this video, you are going to love the next one that pops up on the screen. It's another What I Eat in a Day video. I love you. I'll see you in that video.